Assur, also known as Ashur and Ka-Ashur-Kat, was the capital of the Old Assyrian city-state, the Middle Assyrian Empire, and for a time of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The remains of the city lie on the western bank of the Tigris River, north of the confluence with its tributary, the Little Zab, in what is now Iraq, more precisely in the Al-Shir-Kat district of the Saladin Governorate.
Iraq?
Occupation of the city itself continued for approximately 3,000 years, from the early dynastic period to the mid-3rd century AD, when the city was sacked by the Sasanian Empire. The site is a World Heritage Site and was added to that organization's list of sites in danger in 2003 as a result of a proposed dam, which would flood some of the site. It has been further threatened by the conflict that erupted following the U.S.-led 2003 invasion of Iraq. Assur lies 65 kilometers south of the site of Nimrud and 100 kilometers south of Nineveh.
Nimrod and Nineveh.
History of research. Exploration of the site of Assur began in 1898 by German archaeologists. Excavations began in 1900 by Friedrich Delitzsch and were continued in 1903 to 1913 by a team from the Deutsche Orientgesellschaft led initially by Robert Koldewey and later by Walter Andre. More than 16,000 clay tablets with cuneiform texts were discovered. The German archaeologists brought objects they found to Berlin, enhancing the collection of the Pergamon Museum. More recently, Ashur was excavated by B. Ruda for the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich and the Bavarian Ministry of Culture in 1990. During the same period, in 1988 and 1989, the site was being worked by R. Dittmann on behalf of the Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft. Name. Assur is the name of the city, of the land ruled by the city, and of its tutelary deity from which the natives took their name, as did the entire nation of Assyria, which encompassed what is today northern Iraq, northeast Syria, and southeast Turkey. Today the Assyrians are still found throughout the Middle East, particularly in Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey, and the diaspora in the Western world. Assur is also the origin of the name Syria in terms for Syriac Christians, these being originally Indo-European derivations of Assyria, and for many centuries applying only to Assyria and the Assyrians before also being applied to the Levant and its inhabitants by the Seleucid Empire in the 3rd century BC.
The Levant.
History. According to the Oxford Companion to the Bible, Assur was built on a sandstone cliff on the west bank of the Tigris about 35 kilometers north of its confluence with the lower Zab River. Early Bronze Age. Early Dynastic 3. Archaeology reveals the site of the city was occupied by the middle of the 3rd millennium BC. This was still the Sumerian period, before Assyria emerged. The oldest remains of the city were discovered in the foundations of the Ishtar Temple, as well as at the Old Palace.
Ishtar Temple.
Akkadian period. During the Akkadian Empire, Assur was a provincial capital led by the Isiac Assur, a vassal of the Akkadian kings.
Listen.
Ur III period. During the 3rd dynasty of Ur, Assur